Cancer is not caused by smoking cigarettes. It's caused by the small symptoms that you ignore for a very long period of time. A few days back, a friend of mine called me and she was crying. After talking for a while, she told me that her mother was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. Her mother never smoked, never touched alcohol, and was always on a healthy routine and a healthy diet for 60 years of her life. And yet, here she was with stage 3 lung cancer and not much to do about it. And most of the cancer at a later stage are not completely curable, and the success rate is very low. This was absolutely shocking, and it also left me question many more things that we are doing these days. So then I went and started doing my own research, and I found out that in India, survival rate at stage 3 to 4 is just 5%. But at stage 1, the survival rate is 90%. But this never becomes a reality because WHO has revealed that in India and in other developing countries, 70% of cancers get diagnosed at a much later stage, having and giving them very low survival rates. When I read this fact, I was completely shocked, and I realized how many lives could be saved by just early detection. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about in this video. So, in this video, we are going to talk about 5 most common early signs of cancer and how to approach them. So, before we get into signs and symptoms, first let's talk about what is cancer and how it develops. Our body is made up of trillions of cells, and these cells have a particular job to be done, or they have a certain role to be done. So they divide in order to achieve that job, and when the work is done, when their shelf life is over, they actually die and they are thrown out of our body. But sometimes due to some unnatural triggers, like when something goes wrong in your DNA, being in a lot of polluted conditions, poor lifestyle and diet, lots of constant stress, all these things can actually interfere and affect with this mechanism. And because of all these abnormalities and issues, these cells don't die, and instead they start multiplying abnormally, resulting in complete disturbance in the normal functioning of your body. And when they keep multiplying uncontrollably at different parts of your body, they start forming something called as tumors. Now, all tumors or all lumps are not cancerous. Tumors are of 2 types. One is benign and one is malignant. Benign tumors are the tumors that stay at one place. They don't move or spread to other tissues or through your blood or lymph, or they don't move to other organs. But malignant tumors do spread to other tissues, they spread to other organs, and they also spread through your blood to all other cells of your body. And this is when things become dangerous and they start affecting your lifespan. So this process of one abnormal cell multiplying and dividing into your entire body is what we call as cancer. And this is why early detection is very important, because at an early stage the tumor is at one place, it has not spread to other organs or tissues, and it is easily treatable, and the success rate is always higher, unlike the cancer which is spread to your whole body. Now, before we get into the signs, there's one very important thing that I want you all to keep in your mind. Don't just listen to the name of the sign and symptom and assume that you have gotten it. Understand the true nature and the pattern of the symptom, and then correlate with the other things. And before doing anything or before drawing any conclusion, approach a doctor and then go further. Never assume you've gotten a cancer or any complex disease without getting into the depth of it. I'm not here to scare you, I'm just here to make you aware. So now let's get into the first and the most common sign of cancer, and that is called as anorexia. Now, anorexia means loss of appetite. So losing your appetite or not feeling like eating might not seem dangerous in the beginning, right? But when this continues for weeks together and months together, that is when it starts becoming alarming, especially when you don't have any proper reason to explain it, like fever or exertion or sudden change in your lifestyle. So if everything is going normal and suddenly you just stop feeling hungry altogether, then that is something to be alarming about, and that is something to be aware about. Cancer cells are not like your normal cells who function normally. These cells release these pro-inflammatory cytokines that actually go in your brain and they affect your hypothalamus. Now, hypothalamus is responsible for your hunger and satiety. So basically, hypothalamus will give your body the cues when it's hungry and when it's full. But when this hypothalamus doesn't function properly, especially in anorexia, you just stop feeling hungry, and this sensation of hunger starts reducing reducing or disappearing, and that is when you don't feel like eating food or you lose your appetite. Now the second thing that happens is cancer cells completely start destroying and affecting your metabolism. Because cancer cells grow way more rapidly than your normal cells, everything that you eat, all the nutrients are just used up by your cancer cells and not your normal cells. As a result of this, even if you are eating food, it is just used by your cancer cells for their rapid growth, and you start looking very lean, cachexic. Cachexic means you start losing a lot of muscle in your body, and people can make out that something is wrong with you, and this is not a healthy weight loss. This is something to do with some abnormality in your body. Now let's talk about what is the difference between normal weight loss or a healthy weight loss or weight loss when you have cancer. Now there are three things that will help you differentiate between normal or healthy weight loss or weight loss related to cancer. First of all, the most important factor is the duration. Cancer related weight loss stays for a very long time, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, or sometimes even years, whereas normal weight loss will be temporary. It will be according to your efforts, and it always bounces back when you stop doing certain things that you have been doing. Second is accompanied symptoms. When it's cancer related weight loss, you will always have symptoms like fatigue, constant tiredness, some underlying infection, or you might always be getting sick. And that is what happens in cancer. But in a normal weight loss, you will not be having so much fatigue or illness or any sickness along with it. It will be a healthy weight loss, and it will be an explained one. Third and the most important reason is there's no trigger. In cancer, especially when you're losing weight because of a cancer, you're not trying a diet, there's no change in lifestyle, there's no major change in your routine, but you're still losing weight. That can be an alarming sign. Whereas in normal weight loss, you will understand why exactly you're losing weight, because you're doing a certain diet, exercise, and certain changes in your lifestyle, because of which you're losing that weight. So it will always be a healthy and explained one. This is very different from losing your appetite during stress, sickness, or busy schedules, because this always bounces back. In cancer, the loss of appetite is always constant and draining. Second symptom is the most common sign that a lot of us ignore, and that is fever and sweats during nighttime. This is especially linked to lymphoma. Lymphoma is a cancer of your lymphatic system or your lymph nodes, which is mainly responsible for your body's defense system and your immunity, and it also helps you maintain your fluid balance. Now, normally when you get a fever, it is your body's way of telling you that there is some infection in your body, like cold or flu or any other bacterial or viral infection. But in lymphoma, there is no actual infection in your body. It is just having fever without any explanation. So why does this happen? Now, cancer cells in lymphoma start releasing certain chemicals. These chemicals start affecting hypothalamus in your brain, which is the main controller of thermostat, that is your body's normal temperature. And this thermostat in hypothalamus gets affected, and you start developing these mild grade high fevers, especially in the evening times, which you're not able to understand the reason of it. And as a result of this, at night your body starts getting confused, and your hypothalamus is trying to get this temperature down, so you start sweating also unexplainably at night. Now comes the most important part. How do you know that this is not normal? Because unexplained fever can happen because of certain underlying things like infections or even hormonal changes like menopause. So first of all, in cancers, fevers don't have any specific reason. No sore throat, no cold, no viral infection, and no stomach bug. And this keeps on happening for weeks together. And most importantly, no medication can help much. It keeps happening in spite of taking the medications on time. And it is often accompanied by other signs and symptoms like fatigue, constant tiredness, weight loss, or a lump or a swelling in your neck or in your underarms, because most of your lymph nodes are present in your axilla or your underarms. So if you're feeling all these signs and symptoms, it is very important to reach out to a doctor, because early lymphoma, if detected on time, is completely curable and reversible. Now let's talk about the third form of cancer that you can actually visibly see with your eyes, and that is skin cancer. Skin changes, especially if you have a mole that changes in its size, shape or color suddenly or drastically, this can be an early sign of an cancer which is called as melanoma. And melanoma is a very serious form of skin cancer. Now let's get into the basics. Our skin cells grow, divide and die in a very controllable manner. So this mechanism gets disturbed or disrupted because of constant UV radiation or sunlight exposure, or even a lot of these tanning beds places. All these things start affecting the DNA, and this damaged DNA will start making the skin cells grow multiplyingly and start growing uncontrollably, and this actually starts affecting your melanocytes. Melanocytes are your skin cells, and when they start growing abnormally, you will see the moles on your skin start increasing in their size, their shape is different, their color is different. All these things are a sign that something is wrong with your DNA and your skin cells, and this could be a cancerous reason. To identify this, I always suggest following the ABCDE rule. Now, what is this rule? A means asymmetry. So one half of your mole will not be matching the other half of the mole, so it will look very asymmetric. B is border. There will be blurred or uneven borders instead of smooth and round ones. C is color. The color of the mole will start changing. It can change into brown, black, red, or even white sometimes. D is diameter. The moles will start looking bigger in size. Anything more than 6 mm is highly alarming and you need to get it checked. And E is constantly evolving. Guys, moles are not supposed to change very frequently in any of these parameters. So if you feel your moles are constantly changing and they are looking different, you need to go to a doctor and get it checked. One most important thing to remember is melanoma not just appears only on the sun exposed part of your body, it can appear anywhere. For example, it can show up on your nails, on the soles of your feet, or even inside of your mouth. So you can always keep a watch. If you find something abnormal, you can always reach out to a doctor. On number 4, we have something that I want you to pay close attention to, and that is cough. Now, coughs are very common, right? Everybody gets cough on and off. Now the seasons are changing, so everybody's coughing because of bacterial infection or any other infection. But colds are always associated with something else, that is infection, acid reflux, change in environment, change in exposure. But the key word and the most important thing here is persistent, long-lasting cough. When a cough lasts for more than 3 weeks, and especially if it's not improving or healing by antibiotics, steam, or any other medication, then it becomes a red flag, especially for lung cancer. Now, here is why this happens. Cancer in the lungs usually starts from the inner lining of your airway, and these abnormal cells start interfering with the passage of air through this passage. Think of this as something that is blocking and irritating a straw that you're trying to breathe through. And when this blockage again and again starts irritating your skin, the body starts naturally reacting to this blockage or irritation by coughing again and again. Now, the cancer-related coughs are usually dry, that is without any mucus, are very harsh and deep sounding, and they do not easily go away no matter what medications you try. Another important thing why most people ignore these signs is because lung cancer doesn't always come with pain in early stages. But if the cough is also joined by fatigue, unexplained weight loss, hoarseness of voice, chest discomfort, it is most likely to be something very serious and you need to reach out to a doctor. Now, here is how you can clear the confusion, because cough is such a common symptom. First of all, in normal cold or flu, the cough usually gets better within 7 to 10 days. In allergies, the cough might come and go according to seasonal variation. But in lung cancer, cough is constant and usually gets worse with time. It doesn't heal or it doesn't get better with any home remedies or medications, and it often comes with shortness of breath or tiredness even after doing light activity. And this is why early detection is very important, because lung cancer at stage 1 has a recovery rate for about 60%, whereas at stage 3 and 4 the recovery rate drops to 10%. So it is very, very important. If you're noticing any of these signs, you need to reach out to a doctor. On number 5, we have a very important and the most ignored sign, that is lump in your private parts. And here we are talking about mainly breast cancer and testicular cancer. These are the cancers which are very easily noticeable when you are checking your private parts, or it is important when you find something abnormal with it, or when you find there is something lumpy with it, or it's getting heavier. This is when you need to address this as an emergency and reach out to a doctor. Even at earlier stages, it is not associated with any other symptom, any other sign. And if you notice this lump at an early stage, surgically it can be removed and there is no transfer of this particular cancer to other body parts, and it can be intervened at an early stage. Now let's talk about the breast tenderness or breast swelling in detail. You also get breast tenderness or swelling very naturally every month around your period times, but that doesn't mean they are cancerous, because they change when your periods are over and your hormonal combination or your hormonal levels in the body changes. But when it's cancerous, the tenderness stays as it is, the swelling stays as it is for months together, and it is not changing according to your period cycles. When the breast swelling or breast tenderness is cancerous, you can actually feel that it is not happening in both your breasts. It can happen in your single breast, or it can happen in one particular place, and it starts increasing in size. So breast swellings can be of two types. One can be benign and one can be malignant. Benign breast swellings are basically, they have not spread in your body and they are highly recoverable. So you just need surgical intervention, a little bit of radiotherapy, and you can completely recover from it. But when this benign swelling turns into malignant and it starts spreading to your lungs and your other organs, it is very difficult to treat and the recovery chances are also lesser. I want you all to remember, the benign swelling will always be not painful, but the malignant will be very painful. So even if you notice any tenderness, any swelling, reach out to a doctor and intervene at the right time. Now let's talk about the testicular cancer. Testicular cancer can happen to men at a younger age, anywhere from 15 to 14, and they're often undiagnosed at an earlier stage because they are often painless. So if you're noticing a sudden lump or swelling in any one of your testicles which is completely unexplained, and it also comes with some dull aching pain in your groin and in the lower part of your stomach or your back, it is something to be aware about, and you need to reach out to a doctor to identify the nature of it and the extent of it, because in testicular cancer the recovery rate is about 90% at an earlier stage, which drops to around 10 to 20% at a later stage. So whether it's breast cancer or testicular cancer, it is very important for you to do self-examination. Check your body, especially when you're in shower, and if you find anything abnormal, you always need to go get it checked, show it to a doctor, because early detection is highly crucial in these cancers. Now I want you all to remember that cancer never comes with any single sign or symptom. It is always combined with many other signs and symptoms which we either ignore or we take it lightly or we are not even aware of. So my message to you all is to be very mindful and very aware of what is happening to your body. If you feel anything is abnormal, please reach out to a doctor. Get yourself checked. It's always better when it's a false alarm than going at a later stage, because cancer is highly curable at an earlier stage. So going early is half battle won. So I urge you all to go get yourself screened, detected, checked at least once in a year if you feel something is abnormal with your body. And if you want me to cover any other disease with their early signs and symptoms, let me know in the comment section below. So this was about today's video. If you like this video, let me know in the comment section what other things that you want me to talk about. And my new book that is called as Reversing Diabetes, which is all about reversing peri-diabetes, pre-diabetes and also diabetes type 2, is live on Amazon, so you can go there and get your copy. And as we always say, it's never just a diet, it's always a lifestyle. So stay healthy, stay fit, stay grateful and stay blessed.